This is KCRG TV9 News at 6.
Many people want a casino in Cedar Rapids, but first those people have to convince the Iowa Racing and Gaming Commission that Eastern Iowa can support it.
3 years ago, the commission denied a casino license for Cedar Rapids, saying the gaming market in the area was just too saturated. A Cedar Rapids casino would cannibalize from the others. Well, this year the commission will consider applications from 3 different Cedar Rapids casino projects. One is a Cedar Crossing plan for a large casino on the west side of the Cedar River. The other is Cedar Crossing Central. It's smaller and would go where the Five Seasons parking ramp sits now. The third proposal is the Wild Rose Casino, which would be a smaller boutique casino across from the Doubletree Hotel. But what goes into the Racing and Gaming Commission's decision? TV9's chief investigative reporter Josh Scheinblum sat down with current commissioner and former chair Jeff Lamberti to get that answer in an exclusive interview.
Has there ever been a better possibility than right now for Cedar Rapids to get a casino?
Well, yes, there was when they voted down the referendum the first 2 times because Riverside would not exist where it does had the referendum passed, and they most certainly would have got a license back then.
Why does it matter if there is a casino who loses money due to competition?
Because that's the system we have in place. We don't have free and open competition, and that system says you're going to get a certain level of protection when you make that kind of investment. And here's how I describe it, is a $150 million facility probably would have been a $30 million facility if they knew that there were going to be other facilities built. So what you're essentially doing is changing the rules after they've spent the money. That's what the commission has been unwilling to do because we've encouraged those big investments. So
but is it the commission's job to protect somebody else's investment?
Under the rules that we have in place now, yes.
I think the same argument could be made, though. Why don't we only have one grocery store? Why don't we only have one gas station? Why don't we only have one restaurant? Because if you bring in another one, it would mean that there's competition.
Well, but the issue is when the legislature created gaming in Iowa, it's always been a regulated industry.
But restaurants aren't regulated?
Not in this way. This is much more like a utility is regulated. That's why you often have only one power company serving Lynn County or Cedar Rapids.
It sounds like what you're dealing with is past practice and history and not a whole lot of direction. It's pretty much, what you guys think, well, this is where we should go.
No, I don't think that's accurate. I think the history and how the commission's developed its rules and practices has actually served the state of Iowa very well.
I don't mean to indicate that it hasn't served it well. What I'm saying is you guys don't have a rubric in which to go off of it. For a lack of a better phrase, you're kind of making it up as you go.
Not really. I mean, what I will say and what makes our job difficult is there is no magic number on cannibalization where it says it's too much, don't grant it. So that does leave a certain amount of that up to us to make our own judgment.
If I'm hearing you correctly, you had voters vote on an issue, but what this really comes down to, unless the legislature decides to implement a new procedure, is a gut feeling. Could you understand why people would find that disconcerting?
Well, I'm not sure that that's really the accurate way of looking at this because, quite frankly,
well, you can call it judgment, call it whatever you want, but it's how you feel about it. There's no set number here.
Well, it's really not how I feel about it. It's really trying to look at those numbers, and yeah, there's some element that we have to use our best judgment, but that's what we were appointed to do.
Lamberti adds, historically, if a proposed casino is expected to cut into another casino's profits in the mid-teens, the commission would deny the request. One study for the commission in 2014 projected that in 2017, there would be around a 27% cut in business for Riverside had the Cedar Rapids casino proposal been implemented.